Good morning.
Good morning.
It's Saturday morning again.
Really tall.
You have heeled boots on. I don't have any shoes on, so you are very tall this morning. Wow. Yeah, there's a big contrast. Well, it's Saturday morning. It was a rough week with the pollution around here from the fires. Definitely don't envy people who live even closer. It was just awful. I couldn't breathe. Thankfully, we had some rain night before last. We have rain forecasted for today, so hopefully they'll start putting out fires and making it breathable again.
Yeah, I've been nursing a headache a chunk of the week this week. It's
Yeah. So, how was your week, you guys? I feel like we always tell you about our week. We never bother to ask hey, how's your week? How you doing, Fran?
Are you anywhere near the fires? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Here, there, and everywhere.
Yep, if you're anywhere on the West Coast, just about. Last night we had our first annual chamber mixer over at Omega Pizza and Posta. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Had a good turnout and good food and
some people we haven't met and seen before, so that was fun.
Yeah, it was a good night.
Good. Our senator came.
Yeah, that's true. Senator from the
39th district.
Yeah. Whenever they say district, I think of Hunger Games. But yeah, it was a good night. It was a date night for Justin and I. We actually got to get a sitter for the kids, and so it was a lot of fun.
Well, good morning, Heidi.
Good morning, gorgeous.
Did you have fun last night?
Shoot, my Lorelai at the table this morning, when I first woke up, she actually, I was going to tell you, Heidi, I go start getting ready, and she says something to me, and I can't understand her, and she repeats it 4 or 5 times. Finally, I get it. She says, "Can Piper come babysit us again? Can you leave?" Rude. No. Apparently, my kids love Piper more than they love me.
It's very sweet, though.
Yes, they love her. It's awesome. So, I feel like we're in a little bit of a... I foolishly made an appointment for 9:30 that I shoot, I forgot today was Saturday, to be honest.
Maybe she'll park here and
I can just wave at her
and say, "Hold on, I'll be right there."
So, today we're talking about just kind of what we want to talk about this week.
She did have fun last night.
Yeah, you did. We're glad you came. And I feel like this is something that Lord was laying on your heart this week, so I kind of let you take the lead today on the topic, and my babies love you.
Well, we've kind of touched on this in different avenues, I think several different times, but I think sometimes we get caught up in fighting life, really, and we don't even know what we're really fighting for. We're just fighting everything and fighting frustrations and fighting, things are not going the way we want them to go. And I think sometimes you need to step back for a moment and ask yourself, what am I fighting for? Because there's a lot of things that we get caught up and we get our panties in a wad, if you will, and they really don't fit if you really step back and you figure out what's really, 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 really important to you, what your core. This is what I'm working for here. Then you can recognize, well, that's just kind of distracting fluff, and you can flick it off. But I think if you're not acutely aware of what you're, I think sometimes some of us haven't ever really answered that question or really deeply answered it.
Well, I think
my brain is...
That's okay. I think that I did a live a month ago now or something like that, midweek live. So I think it was called a Rustic live training, if you look it up. But I did a live on how to kind of figure out what matters to you, what are your priorities. And this is just kind of taking that to that next level, boiling it down even more of what is my purpose in life? What am I working towards? And really try to narrow it down, not just to your priorities, but even take those, like, say 3 or 4 priorities and narrow it down to, like, what's the essence? If I boil down those 4 priorities, what's the essence of that core? And from that, I think, just the more you know exactly what you're working for and the more you know your priorities, the more you're going to stay on track in life.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be able to eliminate frustrations. It's easy to get caught up once you do know that. Once you know what your core thing is, it's easy to get caught up in getting distracted by the things that other people want you to do, the things that you're asked to be involved in, the opinions of others,
Mm-hmm.
their opinion of what you should be doing, what a good mother looks like, what a good businesswoman looks like, what a good friend looks like, what being a good person looks like. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that, when you know what your goal is, then it's easier to let that stuff go off,
Mm-hmm.
like duck off the water.
Well, and I think it's easier to do the things that are going to line up with those things,
Mm-hmm.
because you go back to that. You're not, because I think sometimes it's easy to we're just trucking along with life and somebody says, oh, hey, this is going on, we want you to be a part of it, and you're like, well, okay, and then this happens and you find yourself frustrated because it's like, well, this isn't what I really wanted to do, or this isn't who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And but if you keep that in the forefront of your mind, I think it's going to be easier to go, no, I'm not going to do that. We've already got this going. I've got this going.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to remember that we can't be everywhere at once. We can't be doing everything at once. And I think a lot of times we tend to think we can, and
We try.
we
We fail. 'Cause we
and
can't.
there's a lot of things that you can get distracted and caught up doing that aren't going to matter. They're not. You look down the road, it's not going to matter. It's not going to have made a difference. It's not going to. And I think sometimes that's the question you got to ask yourself. What's going to happen if I don't do this?
Mm-hmm.
What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Or is this going to make a difference 5 years down the road? Is this going to make a difference in what I really want, or where I'm really going with my life? Is this going to hinder me from that, or is it going to? Yeah, I'm a hot mess with jewelry.
Well, and I think that it's important to really be focused in what you're doing, focusing your fight, focusing what you're doing on the things that matter, and thinking about the fact that, like, okay, so I say no to the mom from PTA who wants me to do something, bake cookies, but I hate baking, and it doesn't fit with my goals and my priorities, and that's not a way I can support them. And so I say no, and it disappoints her. And I think pretty much everybody doesn't like this being a disappointment, but is this a person you're called to be serving? I mean, I know we serve everyone in general, but God has specific people He's designed for us to minister to, for us to be a part of their lives, for us to invest in. And if that's not somebody that's like a part of your calling, a part of your life goals, then so what if you disappoint them? Like, it's not the end of the world. So being okay with, you can't make everybody happy.
Right.
So you have to make, you have to stay true to what your calling is, and the people that they're supposed to be in your life, they're not going to be disappointed. You're going to be able to meet their needs because it's going to fit with where the goals are. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think he always being mindful, and I think that sometimes we get, especially if you're more of a.
Hey, actually, we are in the process of talking to someone right now. But if you want to reach out to us via Messenger or stop by, we can talk to you and let you know if that changes, Candace. Yeah.
Lost my thought. I completely lost my thought. I was thinking about something you were saying.
Disappointed people? Right people?
Oh, I think sometimes we, especially if you tend to be more of a people pleasing personality, it's easy to say yes to a lot of things that they sound good and they're good things.
It won't take that much time. It's not that hard.
But being really, like Katie was saying, being sensitive to the people that you're called to, you know, I think oftentimes God allows certain things into our life, or people into our life, things that that allow each one of us to see things a little differently, to maybe hone in on, see situations or see people, see needs that maybe somebody else won't see. And so it gives you a different perspective and of what things that you should be doing. And so I think, again, being really keyed into what you're all about. You know, for some people, it might be, you know, their deepest priority is to make a lot of money so that they can bless the world with finance. For some people, it might be, you know, they want to leave a legacy. You know, they want to make a mark on this world. So figuring out what, you know, what that key thing is for you, and then how everything else is gonna, because if money is not important to you, I mean, well, we all need money, but
to a certain extent, yeah.
But you know what I mean. Your motivation is not going to be. You're going to be able to make decisions of, you know, there's someone in the limelight that they have made the conscious decision to not. What's the word I'm looking for? Like endorsements. The only things that they share are things that they love, that they're passionate. This is a great product. I love this. Right. And I want to share this with you because this is a really great product. I'm not getting paid to do that. Because money is not what motivates them. And so, well, yeah, because now they've got some notoriety. You know,
they could do endorsements.
Yeah, companies are saying, "Hey, would you promote? You know, would you place this product in your live or whatever?" And it's not something they're passionate about, and so it's easy for them to say no to that. And you know, some people would say, "You're crazy. You're just leaving money on the table." But that's not where their core beliefs are. That's not what they're passionate about. So. Just some examples. I hate to give examples because again I don't want
to narrow
it or you know feel like, oh well, maybe that's what my thing should be.
It's different for everyone.
Because it's different for everyone.
And I think that when it comes to making decisions, I tend to be very impulsive. I say yes quickly. I say no quickly. Equally so, I've learned I struggle with when my mood changes or when something else comes in my life. I'm ready to drop something else like a hot rock, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm done now. I once broke up with a boyfriend. Well, he was shipped out on a ship. He wasn't like fighting a war, but he was on a ship. He was in the Navy, I think. Is it Navy? Pretty sure he's Navy. It's a long time ago, guys. Okay. Anyway, and I decided that it wasn't the right fit. I never really liked him. It was kind of one of those convenient, okay, I'll go out with you because I was in a bad place in my life and I was done, and so I sent him an email and broke up with him while he was out. Oh my gosh, well, he was deployed, that's the word. And that's kind of who I am.
I just want to wrap this up right now.
I want to be done with that. I want to close that chapter. So, and that was horrible. And something I regretted, but it's something I've had to learn that you can't be impulsive with your decisions. You can't be impulsive with your yes or your no's. You have to be thoughtful about them because I think once you make that commitment, you really need to honor it. So, you know, when someone approaches you, it's easy to say, well, that's not hard. Yeah, I can do that. And I'm currently in one of those situations, actually, because I did say yes so quickly. And now I'm like, I don't want to do this. This isn't what I do. And so I think, you know, giving yourself time, you know, wait a day. Say, I'll get back to you tomorrow. Let me think about it. Let me check my calendar. Let me talk to my spouse, talk to whoever, you know, really chew on it. Don't give yourself time. Don't, you know, even if people want an answer right then, you say, I need a day. If you can't wait a day for an answer, then the answer's no. I think that's a pretty solid, just give yourself time. Don't rush into your decisions, because that's usually when we make mistakes and we do something that, or commit to something that isn't right for us.
Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, along those lines a little bit is, I think sometimes when we haven't, I wanted to go back a little bit to, because I think for most of us, we're not there. We don't have that super clear, that's the goal, is to get to where you have that super clearly defined, and it becomes easy to let your yay be yay and your nay be nay kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Because you have that bar right there to measure everything off of. But I think real life, you know, it's a messy process, getting there. And, you know, especially if we haven't taken that time to really clearly define that, because sometimes it's like we think we have, but maybe we need to boil it down a little bit more, because then other things come along and you're like, maybe. And sometimes we will fall into a serious place of frustration, because, you know, we're allowing life to make some of those decisions for us, and we can end up kind of just feeling like we're treading water, and you're gonna burn out, you're gonna get tired. And I think that's a lot of time, that's what the enemy is looking for. He's looking for those things that he can kind of lay out for us that are gonna, I think sometimes you come back to, you feel like you're coming back to the same things over and over and over again. You get them settled in your mind that, nope, this is what I'm solid about, and then it pops up again. And, you know, he knows what kind of bait to lay out for us. Someone I just read this week, I thought it was kind of a different way of putting it, that really spoke to me, is how he'll lay out a cookie crumb trail. All these little things that push your buttons, these little cookie crumbs that you grab onto, you gravitate to, and lead you down to this rabbit hole of self-pity, and you can wind up in just despair. You can go from, you know, I had a situation earlier this week where I was like, I am resolved. I am like, yeah, this is what I believe. This is where I'm standing.
Did you see her? She's got her power pose. She's got her leg up on the chair.
I was trying not to knock this thing off.
I know, I'm making me really nervous.
No, I don't see it.
I leave for 1 minute.
And one little thing happened, and another little thing happened, and it's like, it really was like a trail of cookie crumbs, because I just kept grabbing, and then there's this, and then there's this, and there's this, and there's this, and, you know, a half an hour later, I'm like, this is stupid, I'm done with all of this, and yeah, and she's like, what happened to the peace and confidence you had about this morning? But it's true, and I think being aware of that, and recognizing, again, coming back to when you're solid on where you're going, and then you can start recognizing, well, wait a minute, I don't need to nibble on that cookie crumb because that doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect
what I'm doing
over here. And then in those times when you're feeling that, not being afraid, you know, like you talked about, you know, giving it time. Time is such a wonderful, wonderful gift. One day can make all the difference in the world. You know, I think we've all had that day where just like the sky is falling and, you know, you're just like, it can't possibly, you know, there's no way. It's not going to be any different tomorrow. Nothing's going to change. And you give it a day and you get up and it's like, okay. You either come out with a fresh perspective or you have an answer. So, you know, while she talked about being really impulsive and stuff, is giving yourself some time. You know, giving yourself, you know, even a few hours before you know, make critical decisions. Think them through, pray about it. I think the greatest example we have of how profound a difference a day can make.
Gabriel says
Hi, Gabriel.
For only the difference a day makes. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, I think the most profound example we have of that is the cross and the empty tomb. Mm-hmm. I mean, it went from he's dead, it's over, everything we thought was going to, you know, a place of despair, I mean, for many of his followers. And give it a day in the tomb, you know, and yeah, and then everything's changed. So, I mean, I think that's a great, when you feel you're in that pit of, you know, you followed those cookie crumbs, you're in that, you know, rabbit hole of despair, remembering that, okay, give it some time. And I think, you know, sometimes we need that time to figure out some things. God lets us chase those cookie crumbs down there. Yep.
Always starts with a dog.
Yes,
so true.
Absolutely true.
Right down. Okay.
I feel very distracted this morning.
Well, like help her in the background making faces.
This was like all straight in my head, but just I really really encourage you to give a lot of thought of really what that why am I here? Mm-hmm. What do I want out of life?
My purpose.
And just keep boiling that down. You know, I want to be a great wife. I want to be a good mother. I want to be, you know, a grandmother that has an effect. But why? Why do you want that? Well, because I want to leave a legacy.
But why?
Just but why? Keep asking yourself, but why? But why? Until you get to the bottom of.
It's been a while since we had a camera
fun.
drop. Nice save.
And if you already know that,
Don't touch, okay, babe?
awesome. Use that as your standard, your measuring stick for everything, you know, that happens in your life.
Can you see yourself? Violet? Can you see? Can you see yourself in the corner? Right there. You're right there.
Special guest.
Violet Mills.
Anyways, I think that's about all thoughts we have.
I'm curious how you guys have figured out your why, if you have, what your why is, maybe. I think it's always interesting to see. Everybody has their own unique take on life and their own unique role in life. And so it's always kind of fun to hear other people's whys, you know?
And for me, I thought I knew, but I was challenged to, but why? But why? And so I'm digging a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite at that core yet. I'm kind of there, but yeah.
Heidi. Miss Heidi says hi. Oh, come over here. Can you wave? Can you say hi, Miss Heidi?
I don't see
She's
her.
like, I don't see her. I'm not sure you're telling me the truth. I think you're
Words
playing
on
me.
there. What are y'all up to today?
I have 3 minutes.
We're looking forward to a little bit of rain here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, busy day as always. You'll be here at the shop. We do have coming up, so unfortunately our event with Kate had to be canceled. We're working on rescheduling, but she has a family commitment. Her daughters are showing animals at the fair.
And they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, they are. And so it was something that's, it's a family thing, and so it comes first. And so she absolutely needed to reschedule. So we will let you know when that changes. Watch our Facebook for that event. Sundays and Wednesdays are our double stamp days. So if you come in, you get twice as many stamps for every $10 you spend. Fill that card up, and you get 20% off. So it's a pretty good deal. We have coming up, the Barn Loft is launching in October. Ooh, headed to the fair, fun. We're going next Saturday. But
And Will says finishing out packing for our camping trip next week. Very
super
fun. Very fun.
Yeah. So coming up is the Barn Loft. That's going to be a group where you can, a membership group where you can learn more. We're gonna have guest teachers teaching different skills and techniques for either painting or knitting, or it's gonna be a lot of fun stuff. Just encouraging that part of intentional living, creating beautiful homes,
And lots of kind of more in-depth ways to do things to create beautiful homes, to run your home more efficiently.
Yep. As well as building a community where you can find friendship and support in all of us in our different journeys. So we're really excited about that. Keep staying tuned. We're going to do more as it gets up. Hauling the pony. Oh yeah, you're hauling the pony. My husband's nagging me about my meeting. It's not 9:30 yet.
We are going to the fair next Saturday.
Oh yeah, so we'll be close.
And it's Labor Day weekend, and so we decided that we haven't really taken time off this summer, and last year we were open Labor Day weekend, and it was just
dead. Everybody's doing other stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to do other stuff too. We'll be closed Saturday and Sunday. But we're open this week, normal hours, including today from 10 to 5. So we'd love to see you in. I think that's it though.
Yep.
So I hope you guys have a beautiful day. You too, Heidi. And be kind to each other, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.